Hello everyone, welcome to the 140 Q&A practice. We're going to start off, looks like defense is questioning, and I'm going to give you a couple of words that you can use briefs and phrases for. You're going to hear rear view mirror, which is initial R, final FM, signal, SNAL, argumentative, ARGT, traffic, TRAFK, intersection is NERX, NERX. Excuse me, SK long UM. I like to use the long U. Otherwise, you can use short M, but you have to flag scum. Collision is a squeeze, KLIGS. Insurance, INS. Defendant's exhibit, DEX. And then you're also going to hear New Mexico, Santa Fe, La Sierra, Alameda, and that's it. So we'll get started, and this is going to start with the court. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Mr. Peters. Mrs. Davis, your witness. Mr. Evans, did you at any time tell the investigating officer at the scene that somebody in a red VW came up and told you that they had witnessed the accident also? That was on the police report, but I didn't remember the red VW until I came here and saw it again on the report. Did you, at the time of did you make a report to the police officer of the New Mexico Highway Patrol? I think so. And at the time you made that report, did you tell him that somebody in a red VW came up and told you that they had witnessed the accident? I think he said he witnessed it through his rear view mirror, if that means anything. That what? If that means anything. Excuse me, Mr. Evans. The question is whether you made such a statement to the police officer. Okay, I did. If it is on there, I will go along with what I said then. I guess I did. All right. Did you also tell the officer that you didn't know in which direction the red VW was heading, that you thought it was going north on Alameda? I don't remember what I told him. What does it say on there? May we hand the witness Defendant's Exhibit A? Would you look at it, the third page of that police report, where it says Witness Number 1? Yes, I'm looking at it. Now, does it say there that Witness Evans also stated that a man in a red VW stopped and told Evans that he had gone through the intersection and then observed the traffic collision in the rear view mirror, and that vehicle number 2 had passed through a red light? That is what it says. Did you make that statement to the investigating officer? I don't remember saying it. I don't remember much about it. I guess I said it. I don't think I lied. You can ask him if I said it. And on page 4, it says Witness Evans stated he does not know in what direction the red VW was traveling, but believes it was northbound on Alameda. Did you make that statement to the officer? I don't remember. Now, getting back to the question put to you earlier about another report made to the investigating officer of the Santa Fe Insurance Company, do you recall at all making any report to an agent purporting to be someone representing the Santa Fe Insurance Company? I don't remember the guy. I really don't. Do you consider yourself as having a pretty good memory? Well, I made it this far, you know. I remember things that I have to take care of myself. Other people's problems I don't think that much about. Mr. Evans, you testified earlier that You looked up at the traffic light on the northwest corner of La Sierra and Alameda, and that as you looked up, the light indicated red for the westbound traffic. Is that correct? I testified earlier when? Just a few minutes ago. I can't remember saying which light it was. I think it was the northwest. Mr. Evans, please collect your thoughts. Your testimony is important. But you are not certain? I'm not certain. Are you certain as to what color the light was when you looked up? I'm certain the light was red when I looked at it. Now, why are you so certain, or what makes you so sure that the light was red? What do you rely on to base your answer that the light was red? My eyes. Could it have been green? Wait a minute. As you stated, counsel, I object to the question as argumentative. It is ambiguous. It is uncertain. It could have been any color. He already testified as to what he observed. Objection sustained. Let me rephrase the question. Is there any doubt in your mind whatsoever concerning the color of that light when you looked up at it? No. Now, will you tell me all the facts on which you rely indicating that the light was in fact red? The facts I rely on? My pants are black, my socks are green. Mr. Evans, let me put it this way. You don't recall exactly which corner the light was on? Was that your testimony? Which corner the signal was on that you observed? Well, I will tell you what I recall about the signal. Somewhere between the overhead thing over the gas station, the awning over the pumps, and the gas station, when I looked up, I managed to see what I think is the light that stands way over the center of the street. It hangs off an arch and is attached to a pole that sits at the northwest corner. I'm pretty sure that that is the light I saw. Okay, switching over to another transcript. This is going to be plaintiff questioning. When you stopped this vehicle, did the police unit stop in back of it, or alongside of it, or in front of it, or how? In back of it. Did you and Mr. Morris both leave the police vehicle? Yes, sir, we did. Did you have your guns drawn? Yes, sir, I did. Did Mr. Morris go to one side and you go to the other side of the pickup truck? No, sir. Did you order Mr. Warren out of the truck? Yes, sir. Now, when Mr. Warren was ordered out of the truck, tell us how he got out of his vehicle. He got out of his vehicle with his hands in front of him. With his hands extended? They were extended upward. At about a 45-degree angle, I would estimate. Palms downward? Yes, sir. Approximately what period of time elapsed from the time of the call until the arrival of the backup unit? The backup unit arrived, I would say, approximately 2 minutes after we stopped Mr. Warren in his vehicle. And that backup unit, the function of the officers in the unit, would be to take care of the vehicle. Is that correct? Yes, sir, and render any assistance that we might need. What time of night was this approximately? It would have been approximately 11:50. Are you sure it was 11:50? Well, I looked at my watch. Okay, switching over again. I'm going to give you a little bit of Q&A that's from a medical doctor. And this is defense. Here we go. Having examined Mr. Johnson, if he had been faking this about this delusion, would you have been able to discover it? One can't say definitely, but it certainly seemed consistent with what we see in an actual acute alcoholic psychotic reaction. Drawing upon your medical experience, do you have any doubts in your mind with regard to the hallucinations that Mr. Johnson told you about that evening? No, personally, I feel that he really did perceive this hallucination. During the time that Mr. Johnson would have been hallucinating this threat, that he felt he was suffering from this devil at the time that he was firing this rifle. Would it have been that he was firing at the devil? I really couldn't definitely say whether it was that organized an act or not. In a state of acute panic, feeling threatened by this thing which was following him, even about his own house, as he described it. He was firing a gun, which was his response to a dangerous situation. Whether it was a more organized act than that, I couldn't say. Now, doctor, subsequent to your examining Mr. Johnson, did you make a written report with regard to your examination? Yes. If I may approach the witness, Your Honor? Certainly. Doctor, I show you what appears to be on your stationery a letter addressed to the Honorable James K. Turner and ask you if you recognize this. Yes, I do. Is this a copy of a letter that you submitted with regard to your examination of Mr. Johnson? Yes, that is actually the second examination. I really didn't understand why I was ordered to see him at that time. I had already seen him in January and already submitted a report. Now, in comparing your January report with your March 10 report, is there any deviation from your conclusions or your opinions with regard to Mr. Johnson's capacity to understand or know the quality of his acts or to distinguish between right and wrong? No, I believe the reports are essentially the same. I wonder if you would look at all 3 pages or all 4 pages dated March 10, doctor, and tell me if this is a copy of the report that you sent in to the court. Yes, that's a copy of the one I have here. Thank you, doctor. Your Honor, we would move to have this introduced as Defendants J. Go ahead. No objection, Your Honor. It will be received in evidence as Defendants J. Okay, and that concludes our 140 Q&A practice. Have a great day.